Welcome one and all to the track they say is too tough to tame. The Lady in Black Darlington Raceway plays host to round 3 of the 2024 Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series in the Elite Racing League. We've already taken to the higher banks of Daytona for round number 1 and then took through the twisty turns of the Gateway Infield Road Course, but now we've landed in virtual Darlington, South Carolina for the Darlington 135. It's race number 3 of the season. We're already getting to the business end of the regular season where we'll find out which 14 drivers will make up our playoff grid. My name's William White. I've got two-time Cup Series champion Mathieu alongside me in the commentary box and David Huckleberry, as always, in the production booth. How are you doing tonight, Mathieu?
I'm doing good. Excited to watch these boys race at this place. This place is something else.
A track much beloved by drivers and fans alike, 1.31 miles in length with a longer turns 1 and 2 and a tighter turns 3 and 4. We've got a very hot track today, 120 degrees Fahrenheit. We talked about it just before we went live. Very slick conditions out on the tarmac here at Darlington. Could present some very challenging conditions for our drivers that could definitely catch them out if they are not absolutely on their A game. It is a track famed for its difficulty and for its technicality. This is one track that completely disproves that stock car racing is more than just turning left. Right up by the wall, full pelt, the fabled Darlington stripe, always a metre away as drivers are turning laps in qualifying at the minute, trying to get as close to the wall without hitting it as they can to put up the best lap times and give themselves the best seat in the house for the start of this race. Still a minute or so away from the end of qualifying. Mathieu, you've obviously done a lot of extensive running at this track in your elite career. What would you say are some of the things we should know before we go into this race, just about this track in general?
As I always tell people, man, you're racing the track. No one else here. This is probably the hardest track to race at, even side by side. Even by yourself, it's a difficult challenge. You got high tire wear, and it's just got to be smooth. Don't burn the tires. Just try to make sure you can be good on the long run, because you might be quick on the short run. If you're really fast on the short run, you're going to pay for it in about 15 laps.
Definitely. Well, we'll take a look at our race format quickly just to build, obviously, on what Mathieu said. Obviously, long run, definitely a key part of racing at Darlington. We've got 100 laps ahead of us tonight and just 3 sets of tyres in the pit boxes for our drivers tonight. They've got an extra one, obviously, on their car. To start the race, they'll have 3 more behind the wall, meaning they'll have to make those sets of tyres work for a long time. They'll have to take care of their rubber for any long green flag runs that may come up. Just the seconds winding down and qualifying now, the last few drivers setting their laps. We'll see in just a few moments who exactly has set the fastest times. It was a very challenging track where, as Mathieu mentioned, obviously overtaking a very, very difficult track position is everything, as I think the simulator has just transitioned from qualifying to race, or we'll do in just a matter of moments. We will see who will be on pole, who will have the best seat in the house at possibly, as you said, Mathieu, one of the most difficult tracks in stock car racing.
Yeah, these boys they're gonna be for a challenge tonight. It looks like Fody got a pole, old truck champ, out here just getting some more track time before the long race Wednesday night.
Yeah, obviously we've got the Elite Southern 500 ahead of us on Wednesday night in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. But for tonight, as you mentioned, Mathieu, it's Tyler Fody on pole once again, and it's a Lake Norman front row. ARCA Series champion Justin Wadsworth makes up the front row in the number 6 machine. It's Matt Gruenberg in the 17 left. Josh Adams for company in row number 2. Seth Rules for Shift Esports rounds out the top 5. Chad Frankenfield, past Truck Series champion as well, will line up 6th. Jesse Racimus, defending Truck Series champion, will have Zach Trevino on his outside. Joe Francis and Ty McIntosh, winner from Daytona, make out the top 10. Leighton Norgard, current championship leader, has Ray Bracey in his first start this season in the 7 machine in 12th. Andrew Rucker in the 64 has Donald Kite for company in row 7. Dylan Javier for Lake Norman rounds out the top 15. Jeff Green, 2000 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion, lines up 16th, and its two-time Cup Series champion Gerald Campbell in 17th. Matt Hackathorn lines up 18th with Jacob Quill, and last week's winner from the Gateway Road Course, James Miller, all the way from Canada in P20. Michael Hossack for Covered Bridge Racing in the 24 will start 21st, with Caleb Pacuma in the 59. 22nd, Austin Inabnet in the 60 will start 23rd, with Elite's newest winner, Gavin Higgins, in the 20, starting 24th. Dustin Dewar rounds out the top 25. Frank Foti, Tyler Foti's dad, will start 26th, with AVBW's Race Clark in the 07. In P27, Matt Telder will start 28th for 4D Race, where Richie Hearn, his teammate, starts just behind him in P29, with Andrew Hardcastle rounding up the top 30. Caleb Thompson just behind them in 31st. Jaden Racimus, Jesse Racimus' son, will start 32nd. Jordan McAvoy and Jay Kaner make up row 17. Sam Boutwell will start 35th. Josh Smith will start off in P36 in the 08 machine, with Tom Bourne and Carl Hanshaw making up row 19. Brent Jones and Connor Thompson make up the top 40. Randy McAvoy, Raymond Hanneman, Mitchell Javier, Dustin Haynes, 41st through 44th, all were the last cars to set lap times, with Tate Lytle scored 45th. So Mathieu, that is a big grid for a Truck Series race that isn't, Daytona or Talladega. We've got a full field of more than 40 trucks at probably, as you said, the most difficult oval on the sim. This is going to be a tricky one.
Definitely, with all these guys, it's going to be hard. And I know the top 5 are happy they qualified up there, because like you hit on earlier, track position is key. I call it king here. You want to be up there. You want to be away from the chaos. You just want to be the leader, so you're by yourself and just hitting your line and running those good lap times. And I want to give a shout out to Jesse Racimus. He doesn't race for points, and he backed out of this race to let a guy race for points. And that races for points. So huge shout out for Jesse for doing that.
Yeah, big respect. Obviously won the championship last season, ineligible for points at this time around. That's going to bump a few guys up a few places. He qualified in around the top 10. So that will definitely put smiles on the faces of a few drivers, but we'll see if they'll be smiling in a century elapsed time as they come into the Geico restart zone now to start the Darlington 135. It's round number 3 of the season. Tyler Foti, Justin Wadsworth make up a Lake Norman front row. Green flag is out here at the track, too tough to tame, and it's a good start for both Lake Norman trucks. Tyler Foti gets out a truck length clear ahead of his teammate Justin Wadsworth. Matt Gruenberg now on the inside of the 6, but it's a fairly dispersed restart. There's a big one in turns 1 and 2, and that's going to be an immediate yellow. The big one strikes at Darlington, and that is going to put a halt to proceedings almost as quickly as we got going, with about a dozen trucks involved. You see a Leighton Norgard there, started P9 up by the wall. Chad Frankenfield, wounded, started 5th. That's happened pretty high up the pecking order, with Calamity in the opening miles here at the Lady in Black, and it looks to have started with Chad Frankenfield looking to get a little bit loose through turns 1 and 2. Zachary Trevino nowhere to go. Ty McIntosh takes the outside, as does Ray Bracey. Those two avoid it. Here comes Joe Francis and a Leighton Norgard not as fortunate. Andrew Rugger hard into the back of the 12. Jacob Quill there involved, and from then on, Mathieu, it's just praying that you don't get hit.
Yeah, you're going in turn 1. Everyone's first lap going in there, and it's just a chain reaction here because you're so tight together at Darlington, and once one car wrecks, especially in the middle of the track, it's going to take about 5-6 cars with them.
Looks to be a high casualty count on that particular accident. You see in the aftermath as we were analysing that a good few more trucks were involved in that particular scuffle, with a few of them already taken to pit road. We'll see another replay here. This is the 76 of Dustin Haynes for Street Limit Racing, just coming through very, very slowly, a snail's pace through the carnage.
He may have tagged him his crash just because he stopped.
And yeah, just as you see, taking it very, very carefully, he just crawls by a Leighton Norgard, not wanting to be involved in that at all. This is a Leighton Norgard perspective, rammed by Andrew Rucker there. Jeff Green gets involved, and championship leader already in trouble just a fraction of a mile into this race, and he will not be happy about that. Leighton Norgard's going to be down a good few positions, probably near last before the end of this first lap. And we'll have a look here on board Jeff Green. See just how difficult it is here. You see the 15 get loose and already nowhere to go. You're hard on the brakes and there is just nothing you can do. Gets hit, I believe, by Richie Hearn after the fact, and that's already, Mathieu, obviously with a crash that high up the field early on. This is going to really jumble up the field in terms of who's up at the forefront.
Oh yeah, definitely. That took out a lot of trucks. So now it's going to mix up the top 10 with some new guys that probably haven't ran in the top 10 lately.
Definitely will do. You see the likes of Brent Jones, Donald Kite. They're not Jacob Crow, I do beg your pardon, the 36 there is Donald Kite. They're relating Norgard coming out of the pit road there, but you still see the back bumper of that 12 Toyota Tundra still badly beaten up. Joe Francis just pulls into his pit box to get serviced by his virtual pit crew. You see Gerald Campbell there just in the background in the 00 as well, was involved in that accident. Here comes Andrew Hardcastle as well. Also, for Abbott Motorsports, and you see there confirmation from race control tally on the 15. That is Chad Frankenfield getting loose, going into turn 1 and taking out pretty much the entire field behind him. Is Kyle Hanshaw as well there for KHR, his own namesake team there. But already a caution early on. We'll see if that changes the mentality of some of these drivers. That one caution is never what you want to see, but is that going to serve as a warning for some of these drivers, Matthew, to maybe take it a bit easier into turn 1 and potentially give each other a bit more room?
Yeah, now the wreck on the first lap like that, yeah. This next restart, people are going to be a little easy going into 1. And this place, I like to say, is when you get a good restart, if someone has a half a car on you or you have a half a car on them, you let them take the spot or you get the spot going into 1. It's like a respect thing because you know how tight and how you got to ride corner all the way up to the wall. So I'm sure we'll see some of that now.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big respect thing. So you see that dashed white line in the middle of the track. Below that is the apron. You do not want to run down there. That cuts the track pretty much in half there, with all those grooves below the white line really not being usable at all, with the high side really being the preferred line at this track, certainly at some points and in these challenging conditions. Who knows what will be the preferred groove, but we're about to find out, as again it is still Tyler Foti, Justin Wadsworth making up an all Lake Norman front row as they did in qualifying. They will start lap 6 still at the front of the pack after that very early safety car. You still the vast majority of the field in the running. 39 in this lead pack. Joe Francis, you see on the ticker there, just catching up to the back of the pack before we go green. So we'll still be 40 strong going at the end of this first caution proceeding here for the Darlington 135. Fred, the pace car driver, pulls off. Here is Tyler Foti. Here's Justin Wadsworth. Tyler Foti now has control of the restart, crucially for the 40. Matt Gruenberg all over the back of the 40, trying to capitalise. Here comes Tyler Foti now on the loud pedal. Justin Wadsworth, though, decent restart, manages to work with his teammate to get up back into second. Gruenberg files into third. Adams into fourth. We are single file throughout the first half a dozen cars. That's Bracey and Trevino, I believe that is, or Bracey and Javier going at it for P8 as they thunder down through the Bowen backstretch at full song for the first time this evening, and already seeing 3 wide going back throughout the top 10 there into turn 3. So even though we had a very early safety car, Matthew, no one pulling any punches.
Oh, definitely the guys probably 15th on back. They're going to go hard to get track position. That's your main goal. Try to get up there as fast as you can, especially with it being as short of a race as it is, 100 laps. Ooh, a little contact. I don't know who that was, but going into 1, it looked like someone got in the back of someone and they hit the wall.
I believe that's Race Clark there in the 07 for the new ABBW team there. Into the outside wall, entering the Bowen backstretch, and Gavin Higgins, I think that was, in the all-black number 20. As there's another accident, I think that's Matt Hackathorn up in the wall there. It's Connor Thompson, beg your pardon, in the 04 as well. And that is going to bring out the second caution of the evening. Caleb Thompson up into the wall there with another vehicle. Didn't quite catch who that was, but you see now back-to-back cautions here at Darlington. We'll see who else was involved in that particular scuffle on the Robilus photography replay. As into 3 hours, Michael Harsack up loose ahead of him, Matthew.
Yeah, he ran in the back of Frank Foti, and it looked like it just upset the truck as soon as he touched his back bumper.
Yeah, seeing another look courtesy of Whiplash Simcams, of course. You see Michael Harsack for covered bridge is, yeah, just gets back into the 41. You see the 41 get loose, manages to save it though. Props to Frank Foti. But of course, Caleb Thompson trying to take evasive action, gets on the anchors, but I think just locks that left front, goes riding up the left front of Michael Harsack and sends them both into the outside wall. Nothing really the 0-4 could do, as the 4 of Matilda just about squeaks past. That's Race Clark. We were talking about him earlier, getting into the wall, almost paid for it there, but that is going to be just a 2-car incident. Definitely unfortunate circumstances for those 2 drivers. We'll have to wait for a verdict from race control, but back-to-back cautions at Darlington, Matthew, not what you want to be seeing.
Not definitely. You want green flag laps here because that's the best time to even make your passes, because some people are going to wear them tires more than others. That's your best chance to get up there. So I know these guys are sitting there going, I need laps. Come on, we got to knock these laps out.
Absolutely, and you just saw there, while we were looking at Matt Telder's onboard there on the replay, confirmation from race control, tally to the 24 of Michael Harsack. That's his first this evening. Getting loose going into turn 3, collecting the 0-4 of Caleb Thompson. So again, behind the safety car for the first 10% of this race. We've only got a couple of green flag laps, and as you mentioned, Matthew, obviously you want those green flag laps to get your tyres rubbing in, have that opportunity to capitalise on getting that longevity on your tyres and making up positions that way, because you won't be making up positions behind the safety car. So I think it's definitely wise for these guys to try and get some green flag laps with some drivers coming back down pit road. Leighton Norgard servicing some damage from his earlier accident on lap 1, turn 1, that we saw at the beginning of the race. Obviously some guys still wounded from that particular scuffle, but lap 10 of 100, we're a tenth of the way through. Tyler Foti still leads from his teammate Justin Wadsworth. Those two have been working very well together on these restarts to maintain that order. Matt Gruenberg, though, keeping them honest there for AVBW in P3 as well. Josh Adams and Ty McIntosh, Daytona winner, looking to get his second of the season, up in the top 5. But as you say, Matthew, these guys want green flag laps, but 2 in a row in very quick succession. Are you expecting more of the same on this next restart?
Maybe a little. I think what I've learned is, like, the 2 quick cautions, now guys are really going to chill out. And I know some of the guys, what I would do here too, I would have topped off, because you might be able to save a little gas and make it to the end, you know, catch the leaders off guard. But these guys are wanting to go green with the 2 quick yellows, you know. No one likes pacing.
No one likes pacing, definitely not. But I think, like I said, now it just looks like drivers are beginning to double up behind the safety car. Looks like they are. So it'll be Tyler Foti leading the pack to the green once again at the end of lap 11 here, and hopefully we start to get some green flag laps going. Fuel window, as you mentioned before the show, Matthew, around 85 laps if I remember rightly, so that definitely could be interesting. If you have a few more yellows, can someone save them? Maybe do a no stopper or just a stop for tyres and that's it. Could definitely open up some interesting avenues with regards to strategy. We'll have to wait and see, as we're only a tenth of the way through. We have to start ticking off some laps soon, I think. And Tyler Foti will hopefully lead that charge alongside his teammate Justin Wadsworth, as Fred the pace car driver will soon take to pit road once again. Hopefully for a good while longer we can get some green flag laps going. It's what we come here for. We don't come here to sit behind the safety car all night long, all doubled up, all in formation. So Lake Norman 1-2 as it has been all evening long thus far. Tyler Foti will have control when he enters the Geico restart zone. It's Matt Gruenberg and Josh Adams third and fourth, trying to keep them honest. Back, green flag in the air. It's a good start again for Tyler Foti, but Justin Wadsworth right in and files in. But I think Wadsworth missed a shift there, and he's allowed Matt Gruenberg to get to the inside of the 6, and he takes P2. Going into turn 1, now faces pressure from the 0-1 of Josh Adams. Wadsworth, though, with a crossover move into turn 2, trying to take back position number 2. Josh Adams looks to the inside of the 6, but no dice that time for Josh Adams. Still side by side between Gruenberg and Wadsworth going into turn 3, the tighter of the 2 apexes at either end of this track. But Tyler Foti is them to scrap for position. A bit of a door bang between the 6 and the 17. Tyler Foti begins to eke out more of an advantage. Wadsworth sends it hard into turn 1 and gets the move done. Takes back P2. Gruenberg loose on the high side there, but manages to hold on to it for P3. Everyone else single file after a very hectic restart, Matthew.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. A good job for Wadsworth to get back up there. It looked like he had massive wheel spin on the restart and just lost a little bit of ground. But to get it back that quick, because you don't want the leader to pull that far away while you're fighting to get your spot back.
Definitely saw Seth Rawls and Zachary Trevino going at it there for P6 as well, the high positions. Definitely having their fair share of scraps at this point, as you see there, especially with the 88 there through the middle of the corner. These guys really fighting some major looseness, as Josh Adams there as well. That 0-1-4 just stepping out on him just a tiny bit, coming onto the Bowen back stretch. But now we start to tick off a couple green flag laps here. It looks like everyone, for the most part, is single file. I think in a couple laps now, these guys are going to start to settle into a rhythm, settle into a certain smoothness, Matthew, where they'll try and make their tyres last as long as they can and start to make up positions in the long run.
Yeah, like I say, the first two cautions were quick. Everyone wants to knock out some laps. Looks like Bracy caught the wall at a 4 again there, so hopefully he doesn't have any damage on the right side, because damage really hurts here big time.
Yeah, damage can definitely put pay to your chances, more so than at most other ovals. And we've got another scrap 4 position. It's the 32 there of Dustin Dorr on the inside of the 76. No dice that time for the 32 there. Has now got the 0-0 of Gerald Campbell all over his back bumper. But no move yet for the two-time champion into turn number 1 here. Everyone begins to settle into rhythm. Here's Raymond Hanneman there, all over the back of Richie Hernan into the wall there. 48.5 Carl Hanshaw gets all types of loose as Caleb Bakuma there might have just got into the back of him, as now Carl Hanshaw looks to capitalise there. As Raymond Hanneman, Daytona winner last season there. That was his first victory in the Truck Series, looking to replicate that same success. And there's another crash off of turn 4. I think that is Raymond Hanneman up into the wall there. That's not Raymond Hanneman. There's another drive up towards one in the inside wall as well. And that is a wreck near the back. Of the back is Dustin Dewar. That is in the inside wall there. And it's a third caution of the evening, Matthew. We'll have a look at that one on the Robalis photo replay. That might be, it was a white Chevrolet, that might be the 59 of Caleb Bakuma in the middle of the track there. Dewar running the very high side, coming off of turn 4, just about gets to the right rear of Bakuma. And I think this is going to be a case of Dewar get a bit loose and just right rears the 59.
It kind of looked like they both got loose. They're just close racing. He's right on that right rear, which can get the truck a little loose, and then you're loose too because you're ripping the outside of 4. That's hard racing.
I would definitely agree there. Looks like both of those drivers pushing it to the absolute limit in terms of grip there and purchase in those tyres. You see Dustin Dewar definitely gets a major swapper on. They see the front of that truck begin to dip down as he chases the rear, but Caleb Bakuma definitely is. Dustin Dewar hanging on his right rear, definitely could have been fighting a loose condition himself. It'll be interesting to see again how race control tallies that incident, if they do, or whether they call it a racing deal. Another replay here courtesy of Whiplash Sim Cams. You see the contact start there. Oh, it's a couple drives there. Brent Jones and Chad Frankenfield, I think that was doing a brilliant job of cycling through the middle there and avoiding that accident. Right on board here, this is Chad Frankenfield's perspective from the replay in the cockpit of the number 15 for Little Eagle. You see Brent Jones just in front of him. He's got a truck on his outside. That's going to already limit his avenues that he can go down with, avoiding this wreck right on the anchors. Just about misses Dustin Dewar, who took a major hit to the inside wall there, but should live to fight another day, as he is currently down pit road, as are a few drivers. You mentioned that 85 lap pit window, Matthew. Could this be drivers pitting early and trying to have fuel economy for the end of the race?
Definitely, and you've ran a little bit of green laps in here, unlike other tracks. It really shreds the tires. So I would put 4 tires on there, fill her up, and hopefully you're good to go to the end. You're right in the window, I would say.
We'll have to wait and see as already strategy begins to open up just a fifth of the way through. And there is your race control verdict there. The tally goes to the 32 of Dustin Dewar. Gets loose out of turn 4. He is deemed to have gotten loose into the 59 of Caleb Bakuma, causing that accident. We'll see if the 32 agrees with that penalty or not, but alas, he'll have to live with it. And there's a fifth of the way through this race. Tyler Fote, albeit most of these laps have been under yellow, Matthew, he's still done a decent job of being able to keep the chase and pack behind him.
Yeah, he's doing a good job up there. It's going to get crazy though, because these guys are noticing there's caution. So now I got to get track position as fast as I can if we're going to keep having wrecks.
Yeah, but obviously might compound the problem as well as repeat yellows, less opportunities to gain track position, more aggression, more yellows. The cycle continues. So hopefully we don't get stuck in a cycle of yellows. That's not what we want to be seeing here at Darlington. It's one of the best spectacles in stock car racing for those long green flag runs. As you mentioned, Matthew, can definitely wear out your tyres quite significantly, and I think that's definitely part of the beauty of this track, is just seeing who can rise to the top on those long runs. As of course, your pole, like many tracks, never a guarantee of victory here. Track position is important, but you won't get that track position if you speed off into the sunset and grill your right side tyres. You will drop like a rock on a long green flag run. But now finally again we double up behind Fred, the pace car driver. It will once again be Tyler Foote and Justin Wadsworth leading the charge up at the front, with Matt Gruenberg and Josh Adams as well as Tyre McIntosh making up a largely unchanged top 5 for the first segment of this race, as we are potentially going for another lap as we've passed the pit lane entry. Oh no, that was just a different pit lane. We're coming onto the Boeing backstretch now. So Fred, the pace car driver, lights are off on the safety car and should be pulling in any moment now. Letting Norgard there, letting the field by. I think just mistimed his pit exit there. Is now stuck a lap down. We'll have to go to the end of the longest line. The 40 and the 6 teammates, obviously at Lake Norman Motorsports. Justin Wadsworth joining that team at the beginning of this season. Definitely got some good mentorship from some of the best in their business, and will no doubt be working with his teammate Tyler on these restarts, who has control again of the field. Coming into the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air here at Darlington, and it's a much better start for Justin Wadsworth as Tyler Foote takes the lead once again. Wadsworth in tow behind them. Gruenberg safely into P3 with a less than ideal start for Josh Adams. Now faces pressure from Daytona winner Tyre McIntosh in the 75, looking to take P4 and does so. Coming out of turn 2, but we've got another accident further towards the back, and the caution is back out again very quickly as we've had an accident, Matthew, towards the back of the pack, potentially involving the number 39.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. I was looking. My thing is like going crazy on the iRacing thing. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, the 73 of Rich Jones inside. The 39 gets into the wall. Then that's going to check up Matt Telder with nowhere to go. And that is going to send the 39 for a spin. Andrew Harcastle just about avoids it. But this is Caleb Pacuma, Dustin Dewar. Dustin picks wrong there. But oh, there he goes. Into the 39. I thought you might have got away with it with just a Darlington stripe to his passenger side door, but you have to deal with some aero damage potentially getting into the number 39 there for AVPW there. But that is definitely an unfortunate accident to have on the restart, and again that's just going to put us under a few more laps of pace, and that these guys really don't want. Are we starting to see, Matthew, as you mentioned, obviously less time to get track position with these extended yellows? Are we starting to see the problem get compounded by the more aggression that we're seeing from drivers trying to get that track position?
Yeah, it's you want the green flag lap so you can pass people. Like you say, you sit here pacing, you're not gaining nothing. You might gain a spot on the restart. You might lose a spot on the restart. So it's just a seesaw thing on the restarts every single time about where you're going to go on the next restart.
Definitely. Also, you won't gain much on the restarts unless there's a massive accident in front of you, I suppose, but highly unlikely as Randy McAvoy, who was involved in that accident, comes into his pit box to get that number 39 truck repaired and serviced. Didn't look like a massive accident. He's already back out of his pit box, potentially with very limited damage to that 39, which is obviously good to see. As Leighton Norgard takes to the left-hand side, takes his lucky dog. He'll be back on the lead lap there. Championship leader looking to make another resurgence through the pack, as obviously being involved in that lap 1, turn 1 accident put him from 9th on the grid down to about P40. As you see the race control verdict there, tally number 39, that's Randy McAvoy, gets into the wall, turn 1, collects a couple of trucks behind him. So it's 4 cautions and 4 penalties issued, 4 tallies, Matthew. So definitely looks like we could be seeing an over-aggression problem being compounded, and race control definitely not offering much leniency with regards to penalties, and definitely looking like a problem is certainly being compounded with that over-aggression, constant crashes on the restart. We know Darlington is a challenging track. It's definitely one of the most difficult ovals to master in a stock car. So thin and so narrow, so difficult, so slick, so difficult to overtake. So you have to take your opportunities when they come. Obviously, most of those opportunities will be on restart, so it rewards aggression, but of course, this is what can happen. You can have cautions breeding cautions all the time.
Yeah, when you drive this track too hard, you pay the price for it. That's why they give it the name, Too Tough to Tame, because it's a hard track to really figure out and get a handle on. I mean, and then you have a track like this where the sun's baked on it. It's a slick track. It's hot. You're burning the rear more, so it's just a challenge. And some of these guys probably haven't raced here that much, especially in the truck. So it's just a whole new challenge for everyone, probably.
It definitely is. I remember my first outing at Darlington Race. It was in the Xfinity cars. It was quite the dreadful experience for. Yeah, that was a good couple of years ago now, and I'm not any better at it. This is easily my worst track, and I hate it not because it's a bad track, but because I'm bad at it, as with many tracks on this sim. But alas, we're going to come out of turn 2 now. We're again doubled up. Tyler Foote, Justin Wadsworth, still an unchanged front row from qualifying behind the safety car here, the 40 and the 6, with a bit of a change in the second row. Tyler McIntosh did manage to squeak past Josh Adams there with a less than ideal restart for the 0-1. It allowed Tyler McIntosh to take P4, but the top 3 remains unchanged. Matt Gruenberg still trying as he might to break that, that hold that Blake Norman have on that front row. But of course, working together on these restarts makes it a really, really big challenge to get them on the restarts, as we'll see again here. Potentially that teamwork magic put to work here as Tyler Foote with a slight blink on the restart. Should be all okay though from the 40 camp into the restart zone again, and it is another good restart for Tyler Foote. Not quite as good for Justin Wadsworth. Matt Gruenberg is there. He's to the inside of the 6, and potentially we could see a move for P2 out of AVPW's Matt Gruenberg there in the 17. Tyler McIntosh on the high side, looking to potentially capitalise though. Tyler Foote still in the lead. Zachary Trevino and Josh Adams battle for position behind them. 2x2 as battled all the way from last to first here. Gruenberg on the inside of Wadsworth, and again a crash towards the back of the pack. 5th caution of the evening, Matthew, and we're starting to see cautions really breed cautions here. 5 safety cars in 27 laps, and that's Jeff Green missing a front bumper.
Yeah, I hate this. We got to cool down a little bit. We need some laps.
Yeah.
We got to let these boys race it out some and get some action on here, man.
Yeah, desperately running out of things to talk about up here in the commentary box with all these yellows. I need some racing to talk about. As again, that's Randy McAvoy again, almost blowing over there. The chunk got a little bit light as he did a little pirouette down the Bowen backstretch there. Looked to me like he might have got loose either on his own or with some help here, or potentially might have started a little bit further in front. That's Mitch Havir, Raymond Hanneman. I think that's a separate incident all in itself, as Michael Harsack takes to the inside there. That is the 39 of Randy McAvoy. See, the truck gets very light there. And there is a Leighton Norgard again involved, and that's going to be a major impact for the 12 there. Nosing into the wall hard is a Leighton Norgard, and again an additional impact with Jeff Green there. That takes the front bumper clean off that Chevrolet. That number 38 there was in the championship for last season. That's definitely going to put a dent in his playoff ambitions early on here in the season. And we're right on board with the driver of Jeff Green here from Do Good Motorsports. Again, nowhere to go into the back of a Leighton Norgard with not much he could do there, as Randy McAvoy went spinning like a top in front of him, and that's collected another 2 very, very quick trucks in Jeff Green and Leighton Norgard that we saw near the front early on that have again fallen foul to incidents not of their own making. And it looks like, judging by Randy McAvoy's on board, Matthew, that he might have got a little bit of help from behind.
Yeah, I'll have to see another angle if Dave could do that. For some reason, my iRacing's not letting me catch that wreck at all. So I really can't tell what happened. But it sucks for Jeff Green. Jeff Green has had a lot of bad luck this season. It's been a struggling in every series. I think he's just been struggling.
Definitely not had the best of luck in the Elite Racing League thus far. Randy McAvoy might have got a bit of help from Caleb Bakuma getting into the back of him in the 59. It definitely looks like it. And he gets sent into the side of the 76 there. Caleb Bakuma comes out of it largely unscathed. Leighton Norgard and Jeff Green, as we mentioned, got collected in that accident on the back straight, but definitely problems being compounded. Fifth caution in just over a quarter of the distance. We're tracking to, I'll have about 18 cautions by the end of this if they keep going like this. It's already 2 a.m. over in England. I'd like to go to bed at some point. So definitely would like to see some green flag laps, to see some racing, and to not see the sun before I hit the sack tonight. But Jeff Green there in pit road with some bad damage to the front of that 38. That might be night over for the 2000 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion, but nearly a third of the way through here, just judging off the fact we've had 5 cautions, essentially back to back, Mathieu, I wouldn't rule out a quick caution after this restart either.
Yeah, it just looks like these boys are just driving a little bit over their head tonight. It's a little bit hard. You can't do that at this track. Like, I will hit on it every time. You got to race the track, not the people here. That's the most important thing.
Definitely, it looks like it as race control verdict there. Caleb Bakuma got the tally for that accident, got into the back of Randy McAvoy, as cars now beginning to double up behind the safety car. With that is now Tyler Foti and Matt Gruenberg. Gruenberg, crucial there, managed to get ahead of Justin Wadsworth and potentially break that hold that Lake Norman have had on this race thus far here. So they're going to come out of turn 2. Tyler Foti is going to still try and give Justin Wadsworth that call of exactly when to go and potentially try and take Gruenberg again on the restart. But Gruenberg been very potent on the restarts and pretty good on the reaction times. Could potentially even have a crack at Tyler Foti into one if he gets a good enough restart and can hang it on the right rear of that 40 truck. But he's a 7-time champion. That is far easier said than done. But Matt Gruenberg definitely has the speed and the capability to challenge the best of the best, as he is showcased in these early races in his first outings in the truck series. Fred the pace car driver does pull off. He hands over to Barney the flagman, who has the green flag hoisted in the air. Foti, Gruenberg take us to the restart zone to end our 5th caution of the evening. Green flag back in the air here at Darlington, and it's a good start for the Lake Norman boys. As we mentioned, they were communicating Gruenberg with a decent reaction, but nothing can really stop that teamwork there between Lake Norman teammates there. Wadsworth and Foti, the 6 straight back up into P2. Gruenberg's going to have a task on his hands to get back up into 2nd, but again, another accident towards the back of the pack as someone is in the outside wall. They're facing the wrong way, as that's happened in and around P25, P30. They've all gone piling into turn 1. This is the number 30 of Connor Thompson there. Carl Hanshaw to driver's right, and looks like those two have just converged on each other, and that's going to be a bad impact for the 30, Mathieu, and that's going to collect a good few cars behind them, I think.
Yeah, that's a bad impact, and it looked like Kyle Henshaw was just thought he was clear and trying to get down, and he wasn't clear all the way and just hooked him. That's a bad hit. That's always the worst too.
Yeah, definitely a right rear head-on impact into the outside wall there.
I don't
know. That's definitely a tricky one. Race Control have got a task on their hands to decide fault for that one, but
it's always hard to do in one, because turn 1 line here is so different than every other track on an oval. Like, it's a total different lane that you race there.
Yeah, definitely. Those two have just unfortunately converged on one another, and that's big damage for the 30. That could be definitely a race ender for Connor Thompson there. The Golden Brew Coffee Company machine heavily damaged in that accident. The 46 might have some damage as well along the passenger side, but we'll see. On board the KHR machine of the number 46 Carl Hanshaw at full speed here. Yeah, I think that's just an unfortunate byproduct of a restart at Darlington, Mathieu.
Yeah, And it looks like the 30 got too much on the apron. I know you want to use a little bit of that apron with your left front, but he went a tad too far, and it bottomed out the truck, and it kind of shot him up higher than he wanted to go. That's what it looks
Yeah.
like to me.
Oh, I would definitely agree there, and that's going to be very unfortunate damage for both those drivers, as I would imagine Kyle Hanshaw probably has a few scrapes and bruises alongside the right-hand side of that number 46. You see smoke billowing out the front of that number 30 truck as that engine has taken a hefty whack there in that Shifty Sports Ford there, already below the white line, trying to minimise the distance, but unbeknownst to Connor, it just gets hooked. No time to react, no speed lost. Heavy accident there. And that's going to definitely take the wind out of you in real life, thankfully. Just a simulation, but still a heartbreaker for Connor Thompson, who's running fairly well, and his night has very abruptly come to an end. But we're working our 6th caution of the evening. Lap 35 of 100 at Darlington. We're a third of the way through. Tyler Foti has led all the way, every single lap thus far. But we're going to pay some bills. We'll be right back on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here at Darlington, Race 1, the Elite Racing Network. It's round 3 of the 2024 B Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series season here at Darlington. And it's Tyler Foti, Justin Wadsworth, again on the front row as we end our 6th caution period. It's a good start for the 40. The 6 files in. McIntosh and Gruenberg side by side into turns 1 and 2. As already we're seeing more calamity towards the back. Jay Connor manages to save it, but Race Clark behind him, not so lucky, spins back up the track. And that is going to be a single car incident, bringing out our 7th caution of the evening. It's yellow after yellow, and even after that ad break, the trend not broken. Another restart incident in the first couple of turns, Matthew Weeks.
Yeah, boys are just driving a little too hard tonight. We need to calm it down. This is too much. I mean, I hate it. I know these guys hate it. We all want to see racing. I think I might have to chime in here and be like, hey, boys.
Go over on all teams and, time to shape up. But another incident there, 7th of the evening, that's brought out the yellow and not even halfway through. This is definitely not been a great first half of the race here. As another look at that incident, looks like it all started around Kyle Hanshaw and Jay Connor there. Tom Bourne in the Home Depot 61 looked to maybe just get in the back of the 9. Everyone checked up. Connor saves it, but that accordion effect is created, and that is Donald Kite there just getting into the back of Race Clark. Thankfully, it looks like Clark didn't hit anything and no one hit him, so hopefully nothing more than just a couple bruised egos out there on the racetrack as everyone scatters to avoid the 76. Does a brilliant job there threading the needle. Mitchavir just tags the wall there in avoidance, but he should be a-okay to continue. But I would definitely agree, Matthew. You guys driving way too hard for not even being halfway through proceedings here. They want to take the opportunities when they get them. They're definitely scarce at the best of times at Darlington Raceway, but definitely proving very challenging for these drivers to even string half a dozen green flag laps together, as 7 cautions and 39 laps is most definitely less than ideal. But I suppose if there's one man that's been benefiting from this, it's Tyler Foti, as he has been completely unchallenged for the lead all night long.
Yeah, if the best place to be when you're having a lot of cautions is the leader.
Yeah, definitely. You don't have can't overtake under yellow, and when there's no green flag laps, you're pretty fine and dandy in P1. And of course, another byproduct of that, obviously, Matthew, you mentioned that 80-85 pit window, but we've had so many caution laps, we could be looking at potentially the leaders being able to be okay on fuel. We saw some guys top off after around the second, third caution, potentially preempting some long green runs to potentially catch the leaders off guard. But you put the clutch in, stick it in 4th gear, you could potentially save a lot of fuel and potentially be okay with 60 to go.
Yeah, with all these cautions, I'm sure these boys have saved enough to probably make it. I don't know about green, white checkers, but they probably have saved enough, because it's not hard to save fuel here since you really slow down a lot in the corners, and caution laps always help.
Definitely. As we're taking a quick run through the field, Tyler Foti, Justin Wadsworth, Ty McIntosh, your top 3. AVPW's Matt Gruenberg is 4th, and GRA's Jacob Quill, not someone we've mentioned much. He's managed to get up to 5th place. His teammate Zachary Trevino up to P6. Dylan Havir for Lake Norman as well, up into P7. Seth Rawls for Shift Esports runs 8th. James Miller, also for AVPW, got his first race victory last week at Gateway. He is rolling off 9th, with Ray Bracey back for Wally Racing in the Elite Racing League. Runs 10th at the minute. Matt Hackathorn, also for AVPW, is running 11th. Austin and Abner in 12th there as well. Frank Foti behind him in 13th. So Lake Norman Motorsports making up a good chunk of the front running positions. Sam Boutwell in 14th there, with Jordan McAvoy in 15th. We just see the race control verdicts. Racing incident there for that lap 1 crash, and that is your run through of the top 15. But now again, Matthew, lights are off. Hopefully we starting to get some more green flag laps with Tyler Foti, Justin Wadsworth again leading the charge for Lake Norman Motorsports, and with the absolutely exceptional teamwork that they've been displaying this first half of the race, it's going to be extremely difficult for these drivers to get past those two, even get past just the 6 of Justin Wadsworth, as they've got a stranglehold really on this field at the minute, as we're going to come to the end of this 7th caution, and hopefully we start to string together some more green flag laps. Tyler Foti leads us to the green for the 7th time this race. Lap 41 becomes lap 42. 59 laps to go here at Darlington Raceway. It's the track that's definitely proven to be too tough to tame for many. Into the restart zone, and it's a good start again for the Lake Norman Motorsports pair of Tyler Foti and Justin Wadsworth. They remain unchallenged going into turn number 1. Ty McIntosh, the nearest driver, in 3rd, unable to make a move. It's a Lake Norman 1-2 through turns 1 and 2. McIntosh and Gruenberg follow in tow as they're 2 by 2 coming through the second corner onto the Boeing backstretch, and that is the 76 getting all types of loose. They're Dustin Haynes for Street Limit, pushing the grip limit there onto the Boeing backstretch, but manages to hold on to that 76 truck just a little bit longer. Still, the fight for 3rd rages on. Matt Gruenberg to the inside of Ty McIntosh, as still battles rage on in the mid-pack, but Tyler Foti has a comfortable lead starting lap 43, and almost contact there between the 75 and the 17. That's gets Matt Gruenberg a little bit loose there. Ty McIntosh now safely for now into 3rd. That's going to have Matt Gruenberg falling into the clutches a little bit of the GRA drivers of Jacob Quill and Zach Trevino.
I'm sure some of these boys that have stayed out the entire time with the hot and cold heat cycles with the tires, with the cautions, are probably going to suffer a little bit more. I wonder if the guys that did pit, like lap 20 or something, put tires on when they filled it up. It's gonna be curious to see if the front guys can make it, though, if it does go green.
Definitely something we will be keeping our eyes on, as Tyler Foti now has a 4/10 of a second lead over his teammate Justin Wadsworth there, who himself has 2/10 over Ty McIntosh there, rounding out your podium. You see Zach Trevino already right up to the wall. Drivers experimenting as much as they can with the little real estate they have at their dispensation. But now, we've blocked a couple of green flag laps, we look very single file throughout the majority of the field. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, if it's near ya, that we can get some green flag laps going as battles rage on through the mid-pack here. This is Raymond Hanneman on the outside, Gavin Higgins downstairs. This is your fight for around about the top 20 spots. This is the fight for 22nd here. Matt Telder joins the fray in the number 4 for 4D Racewear. Gives a little bit of a tap to Raymond Hanneman, trying to push him ahead of the 20s. Telder into the wall, sticks it in the wall, but should be able to avoid a major accident there. But is going to lose a couple positions for his trouble. So easy to get into the wall here at Darlington, isn't it, Matthew?
Oh yeah, that's one of the hardest things. You know, you want to be right up on that wall because it's like the fastest line, but you can hit that wall and destroy your race. And lucky for him, that little kiss did nothing. He got his little Darlington stripe and he just kept on trucking.
Absolutely, and we're fighting back towards the front here. Matt Gruenberg making a move on time. McIntosh looks to the inside, looks to driver's left, but no dice that time for the 17. Further behind them, Zach Trevino has got Seth Rawls now on his inside there. The GRA driver being challenged for that 6th position there by the Shift Esports number 25 there, as they're looking to get a couple more trucks up towards the front there. Shift Esports has taken a few victories in their tenure in the Elite Racing League, most recently Ty McIntosh's victory at Daytona a few weeks ago here to kick off this Truck Series season. He's looking to add another one to his repertoire, runs 3rd at the minute. Seth Rawls in 7th and has caught nicely up to the GRA drivers of Jacob Quill and Zachary Trevino, looking to potentially gain another couple of spots for his troubles in that 25, but now ticked off a few laps. Looks like drivers are beginning to find their groove and find their position, Matthew.
Yeah, looks like everyone's kind of chilled out a little bit. They're ready to knock some laps out. Get these tires wearing. This, I always say the best racing is when the tires wear. That's always the best. So let's hopefully we get to see some of that.
Absolutely, we'll see who can make their tyres last the longest. As here comes Frank Foti and Matt Hackerthorn here having a scrap here for P number 12 there. Hackerthorn there with a bit of a loose condition coming out of turn 4, manages to hold on. Frank Foti though way upstairs trying to get the runners. Here comes Seth Rawls to the inside of Zach Trevino there, looking for 6th place is Rawls on the inside of turns 3 and 4, the tighter of the two corners. Difficult to overtake when they rip the wall on the outside. Big momentum for the 88, manages to get clear of the 25, and that battle will rage on, but in single file form for the minute. We're now going to be crossing halfway this time with Tyler Foti leading, but by not as much, just a quarter of a second back to his teammate Justin Wadsworth, as potentially more battles on the horizon as the 88 got a little bit loose, but not enough for Seth Rawls to make a move. We're now halfway through. This is now where drivers will begin to be tested. We've knocked off about half a dozen green flag laps as of right now, Matthew Weeks, and this is going to really start to test the longevity of this Goodyear rubber.
Oh yeah, you can already notice the exit of the corners. It's really slick, and you're starting to see who's burnt the rear a little bit more than others. Oh yeah, into the wall.
That's Trevino,
Trevino, yeah.
Yeah, and Seth Rawls says thank you and good night. He'll be having that position. That was a fairly hefty whack into the side of the outside wall there. Hopefully no aero damage to the side of the 88, but that definitely will prove detrimental to his race, not least because he has lost valuable track position in that particular exchange. But a Darlington stripe now along the side of that number 88 machine. Definitely a bit of a rite of passage with regards to this track, but just a little bit further up the field, here comes Matt Gruenberg with a good exit out of turn 2. Does he look for a dive bomb, look for a lunge into 3? Not this time. Ty McIntosh holds strong, but definitely beginning to test these drivers. The track too tough to tame the lady in black, as we're beginning to embark on what has probably been, as we enter about 10 laps green here, probably our longest green run of the evening so far. And definitely looks like the Lake Norman duo of Frank Foti, or Tyler Foti rather, and Justin Wadsworth have proven to be the quickest cars so far tonight, Matthew.
Oh yeah, and I consider Foti as like one of the best guys, you know, one of the best guys in Elite on tires. Like there's a handful of guys that can do what he does on tires in this series, and Wadsworth is, you know, he's learning from one of the best, so he's right up there. And to go back a little bit, when Seth made that pass when Trevino got in the wall, that's how you pass at Darlington. You just put pressure on them and you make them make a mistake, and then you pounce.
Absolutely. Looks like Seth Rawls has again pounced on a GRA machine as he's passed Jacob Quill. While we're not looking at the 67 down to P6, potentially a similar story than what we saw with Zachary Trevino there. Potentially a mistake out of Jacob Quill, and that's allowed Seth Rawls to get very cleanly up into P5 and make it 2 Shift Esports trucks inside the top 5 at one of the most difficult ovals on the surface. It's not a bad day for Shift Esports. Ty McIntosh though still has to hold that P3 rather firmly from Matt Gruenberg. This is a fight though a bit further back. We've got a couple elite champions going at it. It's Chad Frankenfield and Gerald Campbell fighting for 15th. It's the 15 and the 00 going at it full position. But now Jordan McAvoy might be looking at the 00 with a less than ideal exit for Campbell, but the 16th place truck just manages to hold on. As that is, I believe that's Dylan Javier up into the wall there, and Frankenfield now to the inside of the 57. That could be an easy move for Chad Frankenfield there on the inside, going into one. Dylan Javier won't want to give it up, but as he gets into the wall at the exit of turn 4, might have to. Frankenfield does squeeze ahead there and up into 14th.
Yeah, it looked like he just lifted a little bit and let Chad go, because that's the hardest part, is exiting 2 side by side on the track. You don't ever want to be next to someone exiting turn 2 here.
Yeah, it's always the track narrows and you come off that banking very, very aggressively, and it makes 2 wide very, very difficult. And Dylan Javier loses another spot there to Gerald Campbell. The big move into turn 3 made it stick. Clinical from the past Cup Series champion is now here is Ray Bracey and Tom Bourne going at it. This is for P8. Zachary Trevino potentially being wounded by some damage on that 88 machine. We've seen him fall back quite significantly. Now 4.5 seconds nearly off of race leader Tyler Foti, as Tom Bourne looks to smidge to the inside of Ray Bracey, but no dice this time for the 61 machine. Ray Bracey on his return to the Elite Racing League, running well here at Darlington, potentially looking smelling blood here with the 88 of Zachary Trevino struggling a little bit.
Yeah, it's always nice to see Bracey show up in his paint schemes with his cats on his car. It's always cool. And Tom Bourne, man, he's rolling pretty good on this longer, and he's up 28 spots, almost 29 spots, and he looks like he's better than these 2 guys in front of him.
Tom Bourne looking very, very quick in that number 61 Toyota. I don't think we've seen the best of him in these first couple of races at Daytona and at Gateway. And again, long green run has come to an end. We've had an accident somewhere here on the raceway. 8th caution of the evening, so says the ticker. It's Josh Adams facing the wrong way. He started well up the pecking order and his race has been turned upside down. That's a different blue and green truck. That's Donald Kite there for Robbins Racing, even down in P36, and the 36 has just towed. We'll see on this replay, courtesy of Robilis Photography and of Whiplash Sim Cams. Looks like to me Race Clark might have just got into the back of him there. I'll have to wait and see. Coming off of turn number 4. I don't actually think... Oh! That is a heavy, heavy impact there for Donald Kite. And I think that was a checkup that the 07 wasn't really expecting. And very similarly to Connor Thompson's crash a little while ago, Matthew, that is a heavy, heavy impact. And that's definitely going to be a race ender for Donald Kite.
Oh yeah, that's big. When you hit the wall like that, you're done for the night. Pack it up, show up next week.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's gonna hurt. It again. Thankfully, it's just a simulator. In real life, that would hurt as another couple of trucks go spinning towards the infield. So I think that's a 09 there. James Miller, unfortunately, gets collected. So a couple of AVPW machines collected in that accident. James Miller, winner last race, rather 2 weeks ago, has unfortunately fallen foul to an incident not of his own making to start this 8th caution. But now a lot of drivers on pit road. All but 3 trucks have entered pit road. Josh Adams, Joe Francis, Jeff Green have stayed out. Tyler Foti has led the charge into the pit lane, so this will be, no doubt, 4 tires and fuel, Matthew Weeks.
Oh yeah, we're going to put 4 on it. Never put 2 here. Everyone that watching, never put 2 here unless you're in the Cup car. But if we're going to put 4 tires, we're going to fill it up, and you're good to the end. Green, white checkers ain't going to matter.
Absolutely, it's now just a case of making that rubber last under green flag conditions here, but of course, we're back to another restart in just a handful of laps time, as we'll see in just a little while who will win at Darlington. Just a third of the race to go here, but it's shaking things up now a little bit with Josh Adams, Joe Francis, Jeff Green now leading this race. They are on 61 lap old tyres. I believe they will certainly be significantly slower than everyone behind him. As I'm looking out on the ticker, I see Justin Wadsworth is closed up, Ty McIntosh, Matt Gruenberg. One person I'm not seeing is the 40 of Tyler Vogt, who's now just come back in. He might have blinked out there. Francis and Green have come down pit road as we see the race control verdict. Race clock gets into the back and turns the number 36. So the 07 given the tally by race control. But Matthew, we've now got a very interesting dilemma on our hands, as Josh Adams, the only driver to stay out under this yellow flag. Could that potentially present some trouble for the Lake Norman duo behind him?
It shouldn't, because the older tires, they should get by him quick. They just need to look out for the wheel spin. The wheel spin is going to be real bad for Adams right here on the motor tires.
Yeah, definitely a bit of tire disadvantage. I would hazard a guess and say Adams was expecting a few more cars to stay out than just him, as Tyler Vogt on fresh tyres. Now second place here, but does have the advantage of clean air in front of him. The same cannot be said for Justin Wadsworth, who now has to potentially look over his shoulder a little bit at Ty McIntosh, at Matt Gruenberg, as potential threats on this upcoming restart. And this could potentially, albeit Josh Adams himself won't be much of a threat as they'll filter past him very quickly, it could present issues with regards to coordinating that restart between the Lake Norman duo. Of course, Adams will be significantly slower. You could see a stack up on the restart, and we could start to see, rather unfortunately, potentially shades of what we saw in this first half of the race, of those constant yellow flags. We'll have to wait and see, as we'll be ending this 8th caution procession in just a few moments time. We'll see we're doubled up, lights are off, we're coming down the Bowen backstretch now, which means we are good to go at the end of lap 63. Coming to lap 64, it will be 37 laps to go here at Darlington. So as Matthew Weeks mentioned, we are safe on fuel. It is now tyres that are the only real factor when it comes to strategy. Can you make them work over a long green flag run? It's one of the most important things you can do here at Darlington. Keep it stripe free and keep it out the wall and keep those tyres chugging along as far as you can, and be there at the end. Josh Adams, for the first time, will lead the field to the Geico restart zone. It's long-time leader Tyler Vogt on his outside. Josh Adams steps on the loud pedal. It's an okay restart for the 0-1, but Justin Wadsworth is right there with him. Gets past his teammate Tyler Vogt and could be potentially looking for the lead into 1, but Josh Adams manages to cover him off for just a little while. The Lake Norman duo racing hard for position. Here's Tyler Vogt, blocked there by the 0-1. Downstairs goes Josh Adams, blocking Justin Wadsworth. Tyler Vogt will take to the outside and will presumably take the lead around the outside of 3 and 4, as Josh Adams significantly slower. Wadsworth stuck behind the 0-1, as we'll see if Gruenberg or McIntosh can capitalise on that. Here comes Wadsworth to the inside, blocking Gruenberg as he gets to the inside of 0-1 here. And I tell you what, I think the Lake Norman duo have just gotten away with that, as now the chasing pack will have to try and filter past a very slow Josh Adams.
Yeah, I thought Wadsworth was going to be in a bad spot, being behind Adams on that restart, but like Adams launched pretty good and then got through 1 and 2 well, and that just helped Vogt down the backstretch and get to his outside.
And that's allowed, while Wadsworth was stuck behind Adams, it's allowed Vogt to get a lead of just over half a second over Wadsworth and Matt Gruenberg here, as Ty McIntosh, Seth Rawls, Tom Bourne now all filter past the 0-1 as he almost gets into the wall there in front of the 88 of Zachary Trevino. Ray Bracey hits some trouble there through the middle of turns 1 and 2. He might lose a little spot for his trouble there. Austin and Abnett into the wall. That disperses the field going down the back straight away. But we just about keep it green, keep it clean. Frankenfield right back up the track into Ray Bracey. Sam Boutwell sideways. Can we save it through 3 and 4? We're about 5 wide as cars take to the apron. And now there goes Sam Boutwell into the inside wall. We're still green. Will we see a yellow flag? It's a driver off the racing surface. We're still green here at Darlington single car incident. But that was a lot of carnage in a little amount of time, Matthew.
That was a lot. Good job on everyone keeping it all together. It kind of sucks for the guy that spun out, and it sucks where he spun out at all the way down there with no cars coming because no caution will be called for that. But a way to keep everyone still there, not a lot of damaged trucks, and we just keep on going.
And that has definitely dispersed the field somewhat, but we've remained green as Justin Wadsworth has caught right back up to his teammate Tyler 30. Whether Tyler 30 is trying to tow Justin Wadsworth along or whether Wadsworth just has some electric pace in that 6 machine. Either way, Matt Gruenberg is also in the mix as well. Your top 3 less than a quarter of a second apart here into turn 3. Gruenberg way upstairs trying to make that wall side work here and get the run off the corner. Tyler 30 though leading this race, but not without massive pressure from his teammate and from the chasing back behind him, as you've got the top 7 here from Tyler 30 down to Zachary Trevino in the 88, all under a proverbial blanket, all looking for their piece of the pie. Tyler 30 with a little blink, Justin Wadsworth in the wall, that opens the door for Matt Gruenberg to potentially make a move for P2, a small mistake out of the number 6, and that is all that it takes here at Darlington Raceway to potentially compromise your position. Wadsworth still trying to hold on the higher side here, still side by side, Gruenberg and Wadsworth. Wadsworth has to run off the corner. Will Gruenberg send it into one? He stays to the inside, stays to the left rear of Justin Wadsworth. He's running that wall well though, will have the run off of turn 2 and will live to fight another day off of turn 2, but he can't make too many more of those mistakes.
That's tight racing right there out of 2, man. I always hate being next to someone right there. It's so scary, but he made a move. He had a good shot at it, but it's going to be hard to get by them teammates. I mean, it's always hard. I struggle on Wednesday nights when I'm up there racing 2 of them because there's always one going to defend the other one. That's how they do it, so it's going to be hard.
Definitely going to be difficult to break that stranglehold that Norman have had over this race for all this while. So you saw Sam Batwell there out of turn 4 as well. Again facing the wrong direction, but we still remain green flag racing here at Darlington. It's 30 to go, coming to 29 to go. Still a tight race for the lead, and just as we say that we're under green flag conditions, the 9th caution of the evening has just come out for a crash further back in the pecking order. We'll see who's fallen foul to that. Is Michael Hussack recovering his number 24 machine on the back straight. We'll consult the Robotics Photography instant replay courtesy of Whiplash Sim Cams. Will see exactly who's been involved in this accident and how James Miller and Michael Hossack, 2 Canadians on the racetrack, might not be too polite with each other after this one, as I think they've had a coming together off of turn 2. And it looks like Michael Hossack might have just come up on the 09.
Looking at it from the aerial shot I have, there's some net code that really turned Hossack. They wasn't even really touching. It was just close racing. A little net code on that right rear, and it just hooked them.
We'll see the other aerial shot here. See them right by the wall. I think you can just about tell the slight net code between the 24 and the 09 as they came off of turn 2 side by side. You mentioned it's definitely a danger spot for these sorts of accidents to occur with just the nature of turn 2, the way it comes off onto the Bowen back stretch. Yeah, it narrows, so yeah, it's very narrow and come off the banking rather aggressively, and that's Michael Hossack spinning the wrong way. Ooh, save it.
Oh, nice, not to destroy the front end right there. Good stuff.
Yeah, that would have munched the front end big time if he got into the wall there. So good job from Michael Hossack to minimize the damage done to that 24 machine. But now we'll look on board in the cockpit of the 09 machine of James Miller here. Yeah, trying to stay off him, but yeah, not touching definitely. The netcode at play, but I'll tell you what, I had a handful of steering wheel there and did a good job of straightening out that 09 machine with little fuss there. Did James Miller, so he lives to fight another day. Michael Hossack with minimal damage, but 9th caution of the evening, and lap 73 of 100. Tyler 30 still leads over teammate Justin Wadsworth. Will be pacing here with just a couple laps to go, and we're going to pay some bills here on the Elite Racing Network under yellow flags. We'll do some sponsor reads behind us. And for our last two sponsor reads, we have got Worldwide Technology Raceway. Worldwide Technology Raceway is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri. Features a 1.25 mile oval that hosts the NASCAR Cup Series, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and the NTT IndyCar Series. They have a 2-mile infield road course used by Speed Tour Trans Am, CCA, and the Porsche Club of America. There's a 1/4 mile NHRA sanctioned drag strip that hosts the annual NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series Midwest Nationals event, and finally they have the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. And finally, 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D sim racing shoes are custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, and still provide all the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the original racing gloves for your feet. That caps off our premier sponsors for this evening. Thank you, of course, to all our partners on the Elite Racing Network for making this happen. Back to the live action, lap 75 coming to lap 76 here at Darlington Raceway. We're 3/4 of the way through, just 25 more laps for Tyler Foti to hold on and take a 74th victory in the Elite Racing League to further extend all those records that he holds in this league. Tyler Foti, Justin Wadsworth, teammates at Lake Norman Motorsports now, will have control of this restart. Coming to the green flag, it's in the air, 25 to go here at the track. Too tough to tame, and it's a good start for Tyler Foti. Matt Gruenberg to the inside here of Justin Wadsworth, looking to potentially take P2 from the number 6 machine. He'll have to fight hard for it as Wadsworth has a decent run up on the high side coming out of turn 2, but Gruenberg has had a very good turns 1 and 2 and might be looking to take that position coming down the Bowen backstretch there, door to door, neck and neck into turn 3. Who dares blink last on the brakes? Wadsworth way on the high side, Gruenberg not with the momentum. Wadsworth will have to run off the corner and should be able to hold on to that second place coming onto the front stretch. 24 laps to go. Gruenberg is still trying to hold on.
Yeah, they are side by side still, man. These guys are putting on a show, and you got to hurry up and make the pass. You can't let Foti pull too far away.
Yeah, as Foti now is pulling around 3.5 tenths of a second clear. Justin Wadsworth did manage to get back past Matt Gruenberg, who himself now faces pressure from Ty McIntosh behind him. Got a little bit looser, I think, through 3 and 4. Had to chase it back up the track, and that allows Tom Bourne to potentially get up into a race high P4 there. Ty McIntosh has to relinquish that position to for the sake of his own race there, as he did not really have the purchase or the distance to make a move back on Tom Bourne there. So Tom Bourne up into a race high P4, potentially sniffs a podium if circumstances go his way. But now Matt Gruenberg still all over the back bumper of Justin Wadsworth with 22 laps to go this time as Tyler Foti crosses the start finish line on the front straight. Justin Wadsworth though very well keeping touch with Tyler Foti. We've mentioned that since joining Lake Norman at the beginning of this season, Justin Wadsworth has done a ton of learning, and you can visibly see how much he has improved in this series. He won the ARCA Series Championship in 2024A and has since built on that. He's put in some amazing performances in all 3 Elite NASCAR series since joining Lake Norman Motorsports. He's learning from the absolute best in the business, and he's now trying to run down the best in the business. 2 tenths of a second between Foti and Wadsworth. 21 laps to go. You got to settle into a rhythm, but you got to do it quick. Matthew Weeks as 21 laps at Darlington goes away very, very quickly.
Yeah, it goes quick, so you got to hurry and get it there and put pressure on Foti. You don't want him to pull away because he's going to sit there and play with the gap and save his tires for the end. So you want to get up there and put the pressure on him, make him burn his stuff like you're burning your stuff.
Yeah, definitely. You want to... It's like a 150 mile an hour game of chess racing here at Darlington. You've got to make your move at the right time to benefit your racers. Justin Wadsworth has lost about 1/10 of a second to Tyler Foti, but of course he can gain all that back and more if he saves his times well enough in these next 20 laps to potentially have a shot when it matters most. Matt Gruenberg though still all over the back of the number 6s. Drivers now experimenting with different lines. We've seen this obviously all race long. Drivers are running by that dash line or up by the wall. If you were one of these drivers, Matthew, obviously you did run a few laps here, so you're somewhat acclimated with the conditions that Matt Gruenberg gets all types of loose through 1 and 2. If you're one of these drivers, you're seeing these conditions out here, what line are you running? Are you trying to run closer to the dash line, or are you ripping the fence?
Me, I'm right in 3 and 4. I'm right on the white line, man. That's my favorite line here. I'm a bottom feeder. That's where I like to run, especially when the track is kind of hot. When it's cool, I'll rip the wall out there, so you're not burning the tires as much. Because the higher you go, the more you're gonna burn your tires there.
Definitely a interesting dynamic. Obviously, the high side, especially 1 and 2, tends to be a bit quicker. It's Tom Borton into the wall there on the exit of turn 2. Definitely a bit of a hot spot for mistakes here, and I don't think anyone's been immune to those mistakes tonight. Tom Borton with a fairly hefty whack into the outside wall that could put him into the clutches of Tyler McIntosh and Seth Rawls, the Shift Esports duo behind the 61 of Tom Born. But now 17 laps remain on the cards here. Tyler Foti still leads 4/10 back to Justin Wadsworth, who has a gap of about a quarter of a second back to Matt Gruenberg here. Tom Born time. McIntosh pick up row number, or the top 5 rather, as Gruenberg almost into the outside wall there, manages to keep that 17 away from any significant danger, but does lose a few hundredths for his trouble, as I think everyone now beginning to settle in for the long haul here. Do you think we'll see a yellow before the race is done, Matthew?
How they're spread out, I don't think so. I think these boys are just trying to hurry up and get it over with. It looks like it'll probably be a green to the end.
Well, that's definitely what we would like to see here. Green to the end is what makes Darlington Darlington, as those tyres begin to get used up, they begin to wear, grip begins to get reduced, and that is where you see the best of the best rise to the top and claim victory at the track they call Too Tough to Tame. One driver will tame it tonight, and it looks for all the world at the moment with 15 laps to go like it could be 7-time Elite Racing champion Tyler Foti trying to take his 74th win in the Elite Racing League. He came second last race at the Gateway Road Course, cruelly denied by James Miller, who took his first race win on that particular evening. Tyler Foti looking to go one better than he did on that particular night. As he comes to 14 to go, they lap Sam Boutwell for the 4th time tonight here. Boutwell not having an ideal evening in that number 47. We've seen him face the wrong direction a good couple of times there, and certainly some damage on that 47 truck derailing his efforts. But 14 to go, everyone looking very smooth, not least Tyler Foti, who's now eking out that gap just bit by bit.
Yeah, Foti's, once again saved his tires well, has the speed. Wadsworth seems to keeping up with him pretty good, and a shout out to Tom Bourne. I know he got to the wall hard and that kind of hurt his truck, but man, up 33 spots at Darlington, that's tough to do. And shout out to him for doing that. And hopefully, he's looked like he's getting pressure from Seth right now. Seth looks like he's rolling really well in the long runs as well.
Yeah, we've seen Seth Rawls do well on these long runs. We saw him get past both GRA cars earlier in this race. Albeit through mistakes, but definitely also by merit, as he begins to really pile on the pressure on the 61 of Tom Bourne, who's done an absolutely mega job here to get from 37th up to 4th place. A track like this, that is no mean feat. But now here comes Seth Rawls there, just in the background. You see the fight begin to brew between the 25 and the 61. The 25 on the inside, going into turn number 1, but it's Tom Bourne that holds on just for the moment. As we now have 11.5 laps to go, tyres are beginning to let go, and it's the guys that are making them last that are beginning to work their way towards the front, but time is against them. Track position still everything. 11 laps to go, Matthew. Tyler Foti still holds the cards.
Yeah, and the gap hasn't gained. He hasn't put any more time on the gap. It hasn't shrunken. They're running the same times. I think Foti's just sitting there, just pacing himself, saving his tires for when he really needs to use them at the end if he puts pressure on them.
Yeah, you saw just quickly those 5 most recent laps flash up on your screen there. That was Tyler Foti versus Justin Wadsworth. All those comparisons within a few hundredths of a second. The gap very stable between these teammates who have ran 1 and 2 all night long. And with 10 laps to go here now at Darlington, as they work their way past Sam Boutwell again, I think that is who's really not having an ideal night here, with significant damage to that 47 machine. Tyler Foti, Justin Wadsworth still being the unstoppable duo that they have been tonight, working well on the restarts, and generally as a team, Justin Wadsworth making leaps and bounds of progress as a driver to be up there with the best of the best at the end in some of the toughest courses that American stock car racing has to offer. Matt Gruenberg, though, has to be given a shout out for how he's hung with them all this time. Has never been really more than 0.8 of a second behind them like he is now all night long, and definitely has to be commended for his efforts, and his efforts could still be rewarded if circumstances go his way. He needs to keep his head screwed on straight and, you know, be there at the end to potentially capitalise on any catastrophes that may befall this front two. But fingers crossed for their sakes that we stay green to the end, and that with 8 laps to go we have a nice clean end to what has been, especially in the first half, Matthew, what has been a very carnage-filled race.
Yeah, I'm glad these guys cleaned it up the last 45 laps or so here, so we can get some good racing. Looks like Wadsworth picked up a little bit, and then he lost it there one lap. These guys are, man, they're a handful. These trucks are sliding on the exit. They're having fun. It's making me want to go out there and race.
Definitely looks like they're having fun. Slick conditions here at Darlington. That is actually Josh Adams in the 0-1 there, who has kind of come through that whole gaggle of cars there. Seth Rawls we saw putting pressure on Tom Bourne a little while ago, but Josh Adams in the 0-1 has used some great racecraft there to get his way through those trucks and get himself up into P4 late on in the running. Here comes Chad Frankenfield as well late on here. We saw him involved in a couple accidents. We saw him at lap 1 facing the wrong direction and ends up with a tally for his troubles and down in P40, but now finds himself 7th. As in the dying embers of this race, he begins to come forward. Ty McIntosh, rather disappointingly I would say by his own standards, has dropped to 8th late on it in the running, with Seth Rawls and Tom Bourne both getting past him towards the end of this race, as Ray Bracey may look to smell another position before the day is done in that number 7 machine. Gerald Campbell as well has done well to get back up into the top 10 after a tumultuous affair for the 2-time Cup Series champion, but alas, still 5 laps to go, and it's the same front 3 as it has been all night long. Tyler Foti leads his teammate Justin Wadsworth, leads Matt Gruenberg, all within a second of one another, but we'll keep an eye rather on that gap back to Josh Adams there in the number 0-1. I don't think he'll quite have enough time to catch any of these front 3, but I think it's definitely a testament to the electric pace that he's showing in the dying stages of this race.
He has probably, I think, 10, 12 lap fresher tires in these guys, and he's catching them, but I think he's going to run out of time, like you said. 3 seconds is a lot of time to gain in 4 laps.
It most definitely is. 4 laps to go, just over 5 miles here in virtual Darlington, South Carolina, for Tyler Foti to secure his 74th Elite Racing League victory. Justin Wadsworth and Matt Gruenberg trying to add to their own win tallies. Matt Gruenberg trying to take his first, Justin Wadsworth trying to take his 4th, I believe, there, with 3 on the bounce in the ARCA series in that title winning campaign. Has yet to add his name to the list of winners in the top 3 NASCAR series. He's got a mountain to climb if he wants to etch his name into the history books tonight, as he's got a 7-time champion half a second ahead of him, who has looked absolutely unfazed in his pursuit of victory tonight. 2.5 laps to go. It looks all smooth sailing for the number 40 machine. Matthew Weeks says, we know Tyler Foti, he is cool and composed in the pursuit of victory. He's been here 74 times previously, as well as many other times in his Elite Racing League career. It looks all smooth sailing for Tyler Foti at the minute.
Yeah, like I say all the time, man, he's one of the best in the series, and I get the privilege of racing him on Monday and Wednesday night, so I get to see firsthand. You know, I'm up there battling him all the time to see firsthand what he does, and this is one of those tracks where being fast and saving your tires is key, and he's good at doing both of those at the same time.
Most definitely is. Well, we're going to come to the Whiplash Sim Cams. 1 to go here just as Tyler Foti comes out of turn number 4. Barney the Flagman has the white flag in the air. 1 to go, presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. Tyler Foti leads Justin Wadsworth by 6/10. Gruenberg a further half second back from the 6th machine. It's been all smooth sailing for the 7-time champion all night long here in the Darlington 135 down the Boeing backstretch into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Totally unfazed, he's kept cool and composed in a carnage-filled first half, a long run to end the race, but he has been careful on his tyres all night long. Cruelly denied 2 weeks ago. Tyler Foti bounces back, wins at Darlington. Justin Wadsworth in 2nd place, finishes a Lake Norman 1-2 on a perfect night for the team. Matt Gruenberg, with a second consecutive podium for AVPW, takes third place, and Matthew Weeks, that is just a classic Tyler Foote performance to take victory here tonight.
Oh yeah, man. You know, cautions early, and then you get that long run, and like he's good at just pacing early in the run, keeping you behind him, and finding a good speed. And then once he gets late in the run, he just starts gapping you, man. One of the best.
Absolutely
I say I
one of the
respect
best.
him, but I'm still mad at him over Wednesday night. You know, so.
We saw all that carnage unfold on Wednesday night at Pocono, I believe that was, as Tyler Foote begins to do his burnouts for the 74th time in the Elite Racing League. He takes victory, and again, the 7-time champion, very used to parking it in victory lane in whatever track you slap him on, whether it's a short track, a super speedway, a road course, or even somewhere like Darlington where it's a whole different type of track, all on its lonesome. He will find a way to park that 40 machine in victory lane. We will hear from the top 3, Tyler Foote, Justin Wadsworth, Matt Gruenberg, in a few moments' time, but Tyler Foote parking it in victory lane, still keeping the donuts going on what has been a great night for Lake Norman Motorsports, taking another race victory courtesy of the boss man in the number 40 machine. Completes yet another 1-2 for the team here at the track. Too tough to tame. Tyler Foote, though, has risen to the challenge. The lady in black has met her match. As now it's a Polish victory lap for Tyler Foote as he begins to traverse the track in reverse here down the back stretch. The only time you turn right at Darlington when you're doing your Polish victory lap. But race results now on your screen for the Darlington 135. It's Tyler Foote that wins by 0.5 of a second over his Lake Norman teammate Justin Wadsworth. It's AVPW's Matt Gruenberg that rounds out the top 3 for a second time in a row. Josh Adams, with a good performance, takes P4. Tom Bourne, up 32 spots since the start, will come home in 5th. It's Chad Frankenfield that finishes 6th, with Gerald Campbell up in 7th. Seth Rawls, Ty McIntosh for Shift Esports finished in 8th and 9th. Ray Bracey rounds out the top 10 on his return to the league. Jay Connor for KRY rounds out the top 11. Jordan McAvoy for AVPW in 12th. Matt Telder, after a couple accidents, comes home in P13. Matt Hackathorn in 14th place. Gavin Higgins, Elite's most recent winner, comes home in 15th. Jaden Racimus in the number 1 machine will finish 16th. Richie Hearn and Joe Francis will finish in 17th and 18th. Looking towards the rest of your grid, Brent Jones and James Miller round out the top 20. Caleb Pacuma in 21st. Dylan Javier in 22nd. Jeff Green finishes 23rd, just ahead of Andrew Hardcastle and Raymond Hanneman that round out the top 25, with Race Clark, Carl Hanshaw and Dustin Haynes being the last cars on the lead lap. Mitch Javier finishes 1 lap down. Frank Foote 2 laps down. Austin Inabnet and Josh Smith in 31st and 32nd, 4 laps down. Sam Boutwell was the last car to reach the checkered flag in 33rd, 5 laps down, with your non-finishers being Zachary Trevino 9 laps down, Michael Hossack 24 laps down, and the remainder of your field popping up momentarily from 36th on back. Come on, SDK. Show me the results! I want to see. I can't see it. Overlay problems, please hold. There we go. 36th on back. Donald Kyatt, 29 laps down. Dustin Dewar, 34 down. Jacob Quill, 38 down. Andrew Rucker, 44 down. Connor Thompson, 54 down. Leighton Norgarth, 72 down. Randy McAvoy, 74 down. Caleb Thompson, 93 down. With Jesse Racimus and Tate Lytle qualifying but not taking the green flag. That finishes your race results for the Darlington 135. Matthew Weeks will be hearing from our top 3 at the moment. Justin Wadsworth and Tyler Foote are waiting. We're still waiting on Matt Gruenberg. Give him a couple more moments. We might pull in our winner in just a moment if Gruenberg doesn't come in. Usually do 3rd through to 1st, but we can do it the other way if needed. Alright, we'll bring in Tyler Foote. We'll quit stalling. Tyler Foote, race winner from Darlington. You got a copy, my friend?
Yes, sir.
Well, that was a pretty carnage-filled first half, and then it cleaned up a bit in the second half. Overall, a difficult race, I would say, for everyone, but you managed to keep that 40 truck up front pretty much from lights to flag. What's your take on the evening?
Yeah, it was kind of rough early on. Honestly, I enjoy running this track and racing on this track, and I'm glad we were able to get something going there at the end. Was looking forward to racing with Justin and Matt and all those guys. Adams. Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. I mean, we got so many yellows. It just turned into, all right, eventually it'll end here, and then we'll finally pit, and that'll be the one and done. So yeah, I mean, the first half it wasn't much to it, and then yeah, the second half there was just hitting the restarts and trying to manage the gap to Justin. So that was really it.
Yeah, I did want to quickly touch on, obviously, Justin Wadsworth. He's joined Lake Norman at the beginning of this season, and we can see visibly already, just from the start of this season, he's flipped the light switch and has been electric quick. All season long, was obviously hanging with you all night long and took a podium for his troubles and was with you, of course, all those restarts. Obviously, we saw that teamwork come into play. How important is it, especially at a track like this, to have, obviously, your rear gunner, as it were, in a teammate, as well as just the progress that we've seen Justin make at the beginning of this season since joining Lake Norman?
Yeah, having a teammate definitely helps. I mean, we only part-timed the truck, so it was definitely we were definitely going at it with each other if that was gonna come up. But that just helps to have like the restarts and stuff like that. And he's a fast driver, which is why I was happy to have him join us this season. Not to take anything away from him, he's always been fast before this team or not. So yeah, just really fast, really cool dude. Really happy to see him running up front, and yeah, just hoping we can continue the momentum in the other series.
Awesome. I'll quickly hand over to Matthew Weeks if he has any questions for Seven Time.
How was the truck driving tonight?
Yeah, it was. It started off real slick. I think the track temp was up in the 120s, but after that, it honestly, right at the end, it was kind of tightening up, but it was fun. Truck's always fun. This track's always cool too. So battling a little loose and then just kind of managing it, and then that last run, pretty neutral. But I think that was catching some people out at the start there with how free the car was, but we dialed it in the second half, so that was good.
Yeah, I told them boys, man, once it goes green, you know you're going to play with that gap a little bit. I know how you work, man.
Yeah.
Well, man, good win. Once again, coming over here to Truck Series, stinking up the show. No, I'm just playing.
I know.
Good run tonight. You and Wadsworth were really, I think, the trucks to beat tonight. Y'all were really up there, and y'all could pretty much pull away. Grunberg looked like he could keep up a little bit and would struggle late into that run. So good stuff for you boys tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And just quickly, before we let you go, Tyler, any partners you want to thank, shout-outs you want to give for a 74th victory in Elite for car number 40?
Yeah, obviously the whole team there, like Norman, it was cool Justin and I could run up front, but we're only the part-time guys, and the full-time guys who are actually doing this for points had a pretty rough night. I think our best finish was 21st, but I mean, Caleb, Dylan, my dad, Mitch, all those guys are learning. I'm just hoping to see them continue to progress. They've been really good in ARCA this year. Obviously, trucks is a little different, but just looking forward to seeing them progress as the year goes on. And also shout out to Jonathan Cutlip with JD Designs. He paints all of our stuff, paints most of the league, honestly, I feel like. Is a really good painter, really cool dude, so shout out to him. And then shout out to you, William, Matthew, Dave, up here in the booth for putting on the show.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time once again, Tyler. Congratulations on that P1.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So that was race winner Tyler Fotu, now joined by P2 Justin Wadsworth. Couldn't quite get the measure of your teammate, but I'd say P2 is still a pretty good night. What do you make of it, Justin?
Yeah, it was a good run, man. I was giving it all I had, man. I was hoping I could save a little more tire than Tyler there on that last run, and then I just started pushing it and kind of wore it out, I think, and just really couldn't break that, I don't know, half-second gap to get him at the end there.
Yeah, I did want to quickly touch on, obviously, you've joined Lake Norman at the beginning of this season, and we've seen you definitely kick on from the form you got from your title victory in ARCA last season in 2024A, but how much of an impact would you say joining Lake Norman? Obviously, you've got the likes of Scott Crump, Ethan Stanley, Tyler Foti to learn from. Obviously, there's some of the best in the business. Would you say that they've definitely had a big impact on what has been some electric form for you in this first bit of the season?
Oh, absolutely, man. The team has been great. I'm so thankful that Tyler asked me to join the team. They've been awesome. Running by myself for so long, you're kind of just relying on yourself, and having 3, 4 of the top guys to kind of lean on some of the tracks, especially the ones I'm not as familiar with, has been huge. And I'm hoping to put up some more big numbers the rest of the season here.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, got a title-winning ARCA Series campaign. You got a very strong, not a good points haul. So are you making a points run for the truck series, or are we part-time? I actually forget, but if you are full-time in it, do you think you can make a run for the title?
No, I'm just gonna run part-time, just run some of my favorite tracks. But it was fun tonight. I'll probably be back the next few. We'll see. But yeah, it was fun to jump in, run 1-2 with Tyler. I had a good time tonight.
Yeah, you guys definitely looked electric out there. Anything from Matthew Weeks?
What was I gonna ask? Let's see. Did you have anything for Foti earlier in the runs? I know he likes to play that little, save, keep the guys behind me. But you think you could have had a shot at him earlier in the run?
I don't know. The only time I think maybe we were talking about it in the waiting room when Adam started first and we got a good jump. I thought about jumping in front of him, but I don't know if I was quite clear. I feel like it's just so tough to pass out here. One of the earlier runs, I thought I saved my tire a little bit better than him, but if we can't run 40, 50 laps, I don't know if it was going to work out for me. But I mean, he's quick. I did tell him though, if we got down to it at the end there, I was going to give him the bumper.
I would have just sent him.
I believe that.
Nah, man, he knows me better. I wouldn't do that to him. But what was I going? There was another one. So joining Lake Norman, do you feel like you have improved joining Lake Norman from last season to this season?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I will say I was pretty discouraged in the beginning there. I just felt like I kept getting collected and other people's stuff the first couple weeks. And really, I was probably putting in more practice than I ever have. Just really wanted to come out doing well. But yeah, they've been a lot of help. I mean, all of them are really fast, and they're all kind of fast in their own ways, I think. So kind of leaning on them with some of the car adjustments that I'm not as good with, I think, has made a big impact. Especially the tracks I don't really run. Like last week at Pocono, they were huge. That's not one of my best tracks. And then here I was able to run up the top 5 most of the night, and that was a lot of fun.
That's good. I'm a little biased because I'm a Pro Edge guy, but I look at it as you guys at Lake Norman in Pro Edge. I look at us as like that's Hendrick and that's JGR of NASCAR, but that's in elite. The 2 top tier teams, and it's like join one of those teams, man. You pick up knowledge so well, and you figure out so much more stuff. That hey, I missed this right here last season. This is going to help me, get that win I missed out, or that top 3 I missed out on. So it's good to have those kind of moves to move up to those teams and have knowledgeable guys on the sim helping you.
Yeah, I think you just get faster. I mean, faster on the track so much quicker than you would by yourself, and their knowledge is, you know, so much better than mine, and they've been a huge help. And like you said, racing with Pro Edge, it's been a blast, man. Kind of like the little rivalry we've got going on. Really looking forward to seeing how it goes the rest of the season. But I have a blast racing with all you guys too. So.
Oh yeah, man! It's all about having a good time, and the rivals, man. It's just on track, man. When we get off track, we're all good buddies and like to bull crap with each other a lot. Just all about having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You guys got a fun group over there too.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. So do y'all, man. Good run tonight. I hope to see you back. Next couple of truck races, and you keep doing what you're doing.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, quickly, just before we let you go, Justin, just any sponsors or partners you want to thank, because we touched on Lake Norman as well. But any partners you want to thank for getting you on that podium again tonight?
Obviously, yeah, like Norman, like we've already touched on, especially in the trucks tonight, Tyler was awesome. But also want to shout out to my dad. I always do, throughout the ARCA series, he was always kind of like my crew chief on the box. And that's why actually I'm running the waste management scheme. He's worked there his whole life. And I didn't have a sponsor for this series, so I figured I'd kind of throw together a little tribute truck for him. Was hoping to get in victory lane tonight, but came up one short. But I know he enjoyed seeing it out there, and it's still fun having him watching every race I do.
Oh, well, thank you again for your time, Justin, and congratulations on that P2 finish. Enjoy it, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
So that was Justin Wadsworth in P2, and now finally we are joined by P3 Matt Gruenberg. It's a second straight podium for the number 17 Chevrolet. Matt, do you think you had anything for that front two, or do you think third was about the best you could have asked for tonight?
I think it was really just, well, first of all, I want to thank Premier Racing Setups, code Grunberg, 15% off of any racing setups there, prssetups.com. But I think it was more of just a product of wherever you qualified was where you were going to finish. Tyler, you got the pole. And then with Justin being his teammate and getting the countdown each restart, it wasn't really the easiest thing in the world to make the pass on for P2 to even put any pressure on Tyler. So, and then combine that with not a lot of passing opportunities on the track and then all the cautions that we had. So it was really an uphill battle all night once we qualified P3, I think. If any of three of us were to qualify in a different order, I think whoever had the track position would have won the race regardless. You put Tyler P3, Justin P2, or exchange any one of us three, it would have been the same way, but just a different winner.
Yeah, definitely challenging in that first half. Obviously, those constant, I think it was 7 cautions in a row, one after the other in those sort of opening half. But once you settled into those green flag runs, obviously we know overtaking isn't easy here. What would you say were like the most important challenges or most important things that you had to do to try and maximize what you got out of tonight?
Well, I tried to gain as much track position as I could on the restarts, which I think really hurt the long run of the tires, unfortunately. It was just a byproduct of the circumstances that we were under. If we weren't going to get the track position early, didn't know, when the next caution was going to be for another thing. So just tried to get the track position, and then I did get P2 there at one point, but it was just so tough to hold off the teammates with them getting the countdown on the starts, just not being out of the loop on when Tyler was going to go and on the restarts. It would have been needed one of my teammates to get up there to break them up, help even the playing field a little bit.
Well, anything from a 2-time champion Mathieu Weeks up in the box with me?
Looking forward. I mean, your team's been running good, at the start of the season. I mean, how y'all feeling about Kern County coming up? I've never been raced there. I haven't seen any races there, so I was just wondering, have y'all raced there? Got any laps? How you feeling about that night?
Are we racing? I'm assuming we're racing the asphalt, Kern.
Yeah.
I've only raced the dirt Kern, so not really sure how that's going to go for us. But sure we'll put in some practice this week to hopefully get a line figured out, and hopefully we'll bring more speed as a whole team to Kern than we did tonight at Darlington.
Yeah, well, mad props to y'all. Like I told your other teammates, at Daytona and that road course, what was Gateway Road Course, man. New team showing up and putting some names up here and being contenders, man. So I hope y'all keep at it and hope to see y'all make the playoffs and put a run on for this championship and put on a good show.
Yeah, James and we've always had our battles over the years, and we're usually neck and neck there for titles. So hopefully we can continue that in this league as well. It'll be a good battle. I know some of the other guys in here, they're pretty quick that I've raced with before. So it should be interesting as the season goes on.
All right, man. Well, good luck to you and your team, man.
Thank you.
So that was Matt Gruenberg, our third place finisher. That concludes our post-race interviews for tonight's Darlington 135. We've heard from our top 3. Let's hear from one of our driver analysts. Mathieu, your final thoughts on tonight's race at Darlington?
it was a good ending, a rough start, but like I say, the trucks being kind of not a lot of the top guys show up for trucks. So I kind of see it. Slick track, good racing, hard racing. Can't wait to get to Kern and see how that's going to go. I've never watched a race there, never been there, so that's going to be interesting to me. I'm excited for that. Yeah, man, and them Whiplash cams, man, caught all the good angles tonight. I can tell you that. And that was good.
They most definitely did. They got us some good shots of what was a very action-packed race here at virtual Darlington Raceway, but that is about all we have time for. Thank you, of course, to everyone watching at home, our premier partners on the Elite Racing Network and in the Elite Racing League. Thank you to our drivers as well, of course. All 43 of them put on a fantastic show for myself and Matthew Weeks, as well as Dave Huckleberry up in the production box, for us to try and describe to you as best we could. Thank you so very much for watching. We'll see you on the Elite Racing Network in 2 weeks' time on September the 8th at Kern County Raceway. You'll, of course, catch us on different days of the week in the Robalis Photography Grand National Series, in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series, and in the Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series, as well as the Pit Pass Network ARCA Series when that gets broadcast. So that's on Tuesday nights, if we can catch that action as well. But from myself, William White, from Matthew Weeks, from David Huckleberry, from the entire Elite Racing Network, wishing you a very good evening. Stay safe out there. Have a good night.